how to input employee information in PayslipMaker. On the home page, click on employee list. The employee list is the place you would ordinarily manage all your employee information. The datasheet is similar to the employee list, but the employee list is, I think, the easier to use. So in the employee list, you can come right away and let's put in one person. Now to save, you just go to a new line by clicking there. If I put a second one, Jane Mao, I can either click in the top line or go to the bottom line. Now you notice I've only put in a first name and a last name. That's the minimum information that you require. You can always come back and edit or add information later. So in this case, let's put one other person. Okay, so I have 3 employees. Now I'm going to add information for Tom. So first I'm going to give him all his numbers, just some sample information for say 456 and give him say a staff number of 001. Now that completes what the view that is called numbers. These views change these columns, starting with the ID number column on up to here. So if I change the view from numbers to dates, now these are the employment date, the confirmed date, terminated date, and so on. So let's say, for example, this person started working 1st of February 2019. He's not confirmed yet, he's not been terminated. Let's say his birthday is let's just take December 12th. He's a young man, say 1990. Okay. The next thing you do is go to your phones and emails, and you can put in any phone number, or rather the number for the guy. Let's see, Otieno 223.com. You can put in his address, you can put in his next of kin, but I want to show you departments and job titles. Now these department and job title are based on lists. This list, for instance, is empty, and the job title list is empty. To manage the information in those lists, you double click on any employee's department field while it's open. So for example, I can double click on this second one and it will open the list. So I can put some say we put in some 4 departments, and then again the same thing. I can double click on the third one this time, some titles, accountant, secretary, salesperson, etc. So let's take, for instance, assume this gentleman works in accounts and is an accountant. It's that simple. Now those lists exist. You can always come back and edit them later. Like if I wanted to the secretary say is not, we don't use that title, we could say admin assistant. Okay, you can come in and edit like that. All right, if we had any secretaries, that you wouldn't have to go into each and change. Once you've changed it there, it will be like that. So that works for job titles and for banks as well. Now if we take give this guy let's say he works, or rather he uses Coop Bank. Oh, you'll notice in brackets here it always shows you the short name of the bank. So to get the branch correct, you have to come Coop. So now we can see it's Coop, and let's say his branch is Aga Khan Walk. Okay, and then 235. Now if there is a branch missing for Coop Bank that he is a member of, to edit the branches you would just double click there. I suggest you select Coop Bank again, and then you can come to the bottom. You can either scroll down like this, or you could have clicked this arrow with a button, and then over here you can put in test. It looks like I've put in many tests. 133, for example, assuming 133 does not exist. Oh, I need to be careful about that. So say 143, or let's say 300. Okay, you would get the branch code from the bank once you've got that branch. So, and then you could always select. I think it would be visible under test. Scope test. Yeah, it's over there. Okay. So if you escape, it takes you back to where you are. You have other, which covers help. This I didn't have a specific category for them. Help, gender, if you need that information. And then groupings is a way to show payroll summaries based on groupings. For instance, the basic grouping is the department and the job title. Then you can add other groupings of your own. I'll go into detail on that another time. Then you have iTax parameters, which by default are here. Unless you have someone employed who is not a resident, you can come and change. These are added automatically. They are required for the iTax return. So we go back to our numbers view. So we've put in information for Tom Otieno. Now you can look at all that information for an individual employee by double clicking on their EMP-ID. So say Tom, for instance. You can see all the information we've put in is there. You could also come and add some information, for instance, here. Right, and you can say the guy lives in, say, Rock. All right. So you can put in information like that. And if you went to that view, what did we just change? The address. We put in Rock and we put in Nairobi. So those are the two major views of employee information. And then when you close it and open it, of course, that information is still available to you. Now, something that's very important here, if an employee leaves the company or the organization, what you do is you don't delete their info because they already have information in the payroll that's important and historical. What you do is you come and deactivate. So let's say this Jen Kamau, we deactivate, right? Now, next time we open employees, she will not be visible. And unless you are aware of it, you wouldn't know that that information exists. By default, it is selected to hide deactivated employees. If you tick on that, it shows now all the employees who are deactivated. All right. Now, this is all important in two ways. Number one, you want people who have left not to be copied into the payroll, the new payroll information. Secondly, on your licensing, you have a limit of the number of employees that you can input into the system. It counts active employees. So when you deactivate, let's say your limit is 100 and you had 102 active and inactive. If you have deactivated the 20 who have left, then you will still have a lot of space to put in new employees. But if you've not deactivated them, it will be telling you that all your employee slots are already full. So you always need to deactivate employees.